There is a house in the middle of Highgate Cemetery in London, and whatever you do, you must never ever go into it. The locals will tell you 100 stories about the cemetery itself, but no one likes to talk about the house. It's an old building now, the walls are cracked and the thatch roof is in tatters. For windows that have been shattered over the years. The oak door, forever unlocked, creaks when then wind is too loud. And still people feel a pull to go in. Everyone in Highgate knows someone who went in and never came out. Grandfathers, brothers, sisters, parents, friends all lost to the house. And no one will do anything about it. Both the local council and police either turn a blind eye or protect the building. A while ago, a group of kids tried to burn it down. They're still serving prison sentences for arson while the house continues to stand. Of course people wonder where their loved ones went. People look for them too. The answer lies somewhere behind the walls. Somewhere across the wooden floorboards and the creaky old staircase. Somewhere inside the 3 forgotten rooms where once 3 little girls lived until they were found hanging from the rafters, their murderer was never caught. When something so innocent is killed with such violence, every evil close by radiates towards it and manifests. The kind of evil that is always hungry for more innocent souls and is insatiable. In Highgate Cemetery there is a house that no one should ever enter, and yet people will keep coming to my doorstep and opening my oak door. They always think it'll be just a quick look until they see the frozen, desperate faces absorbed into the cement of my walls. That's when they try to race for the door to find it closed it tight. Hungry things never let their prey leave. I died 8 years ago. It wasn't particularly tragic. Or unusual. Just a car accident. I don't blame the man who hit me. He was speeding because his wife was in labor, and there was black ice on the road. He lost control of the car and I lost my life. It's not his fault. I know that. I'm not cruel. I am not vengeful. If anything, I'm the opposite. You see, I don't have any family left and I had lost my few friends around that time. When it was time for my funeral, the only people who came was my boss and the family who killed me. The wife held her newborn daughter close to her chest. I hated my boss, and the cemetery was awfully lonely, so I followed the family home. Lily may as well have been my own flesh and blood. She was sweet, and bright, and oh so very small. She had trouble sleeping if someone wasn't rocking her crib and her parents were so tired. After they put her to bed, it was easy for me to rock her crib for her. I didn't get tired. I could help her. As the years passed, Jack and Lori realized that they weren't alone in the house. It didn't take long from there to make a connection between my funeral and when I had showed up. And I'd never been malevolent, so they weren't afraid or angry. They started to burn candles on the anniversary of my death day. They left an empty chair for meals and holidays. I really felt like a member of the family. Someone is trying to force the door. It's Lori's ex. He's obsessive. He's angry. He's going to hurt the family. My family. The thing about ghosts is that the more offerings you get, the stronger you become. I'd been enjoying candles, trinkets, and even the occasional food item for the past 5 years. I was strong from that. The knife feels warm in my hand. A shock of heat against the ice of my skin. Lori, Jack, and Lily are my family. I care about them. And they're not gonna join me yet. Plot 22. Let me tell you a secret. I'm addicted to cemeteries. At night, I walk through the headstones, sip cheap wine, and sit with the dead. I'm never alone. They whisper to me. Some crawl closer, just to be heard. There's one girl, quiet, sad-eyed, who told me about her ex caught him cheating, pushed him from the 3rd floor. Said it was an accident. Then she asked me to get revenge. Offered me something in return. I wanted to help. But I'm married. And that night? It was our anniversary. I picked flowers for my wife, from an old grave. Plot 22. No one had visited in years. I figured the guy wouldn't mind. I went to her house. Clapped my hands like I used to. No one came out. Then a pizza guy showed up. She answered the door, with another man. They paid, laughed, went inside. She didn't even see me. The bouquet slipped from my hand. My chest felt hollow. Then she looked toward the window, maybe she sensed me? But she turned away. Like I was nothing. Back at the cemetery, I sat on my favorite grave. What kind of woman cheats on her husband on their anniversary? I couldn't just let it go. I slipped into her house. It was like I never existed. No photos. No signs of me. Except one, our old orange cat. He came to me. Rubbed against my leg. At least he remembered. Then I felt her moving. She walked into the bathroom, brushing her teeth. I whispered that I loved her. I touched her shoulder. She saw me. Her eyes widened. She turned. And dropped dead. That's when it all came back. She never said yes. She said no when I proposed. And I couldn't handle it. I walked into the forest and ended it all. I was already dead. And worse. I took her with me. They buried her days later. Plot 22. Right where the old man used to be. He had moved on. She had moved on. But I hadn't. I couldn't. That night, I laid beside her. But she wasn't there anymore. Only I remained. And when there was nothing left of her, no memory, no warmth, I closed my eyes and whispered into the dark, "Good night, my love." If you see a tree grow overnight in your local cemetery, do not cut it down. Dad always said Oak Ridge Cemetery was his life's work. 27 years as groundskeeper, and he knew every tree by heart. The old oaks, the weeping willows, the strange ones that seemed to sprout overnight whenever we lost someone in town. I never questioned it until I took over after his heart attack last spring. That's when I noticed the pattern, every death, every single one, followed by a new sapling pushing through the soil by morning. Perfect, straight trunks. Leaves that whispered even without wind. The town council wanted to clear some space for new plots, so they sent Jim Weber, the logger who'd worked these parts for 40 years. I watched him approach the youngest tree, the one that appeared after Mrs. Nevitsky's passing last week. His chainsaw sputtered to life, and something in my gut screamed to stop him. But I didn't. The first cut revealed rings that weren't rings at all, but tiny, intricate faces frozen in silent screams. Hundreds of them, spiraling from bark to core. I recognized Thomas Perry from when I was a kid. Lauren Trumbull from high school. Dad. Each face marked the day someone in town had died. Not just when, I realized with growing horror, but why. The patterns told stories, a cluster of rings showing hands around a throat, another displaying a cup of poison tea, pills dissolving to nothing. The faces in the outer rings belonged to people who were still alive. Jim dropped his chainsaw. "Jesus Christ," he whispered, backing away. His own face stared back at us from the wood, eyes wide with terror, a dark stain blooming across his chest. That night, a new tree sprouted over his grave. I tried burning the evidence, but the smoke formed shapes that haunted my dreams. Now I understand why Dad never cut them down, why his hands shook when he walked among them at dusk. These aren't trees. They're witnesses. Sometimes at night, if I strain the edges of my awareness, I hear them growing. The soft creak of wood expanding, of bark stretching tight over new revelations. The leaves don't just whisper anymore, they sob. And in the morning, I find new saplings with my neighbors' faces already forming in their tender cores. Yesterday, I noticed something different, my own face, emerging in the rings of every single tree. Not in the past or present, but in the outer edge. Waiting. And they're still growing. Rules of the graveyard shift. Dear Thomas, due to a family emergency, I won't be able to cover my usual graveyard shift at the morgue tonight. Since you haven't worked this particular shift before, I've compiled a list of essential rules to follow. These guidelines are crucial to ensure a safe and uneventful night. Please read them carefully and adhere to them throughout your shift. Upon entering the morgue, you must greet each storage chamber out loud. Address them as Mr. or Ms. followed by their last name. This gesture is believed to maintain peace and respect among the residents. If you see a flickering light in any of the hallways, do not attempt to fix it. Instead, avoid that hallway for the remainder of your shift. Some entities are known to tamper with electricity. While performing your tasks, you may hear whispers or soft laughter. It's imperative that you do not respond or engage in conversation, no matter how friendly or familiar the voices may sound. Occasionally, the storage chambers might appear to change order. If this happens, close your eyes and count to 10. When you open them, the chambers should have returned to their original positions. If you encounter a small, shadowy figure darting around corners, do not chase it. This elusive being thrives on attention and may lead you into dangerous situations. Never enter the autopsy room between 3:15 a.m. and 3:45 a.m. During this half-hour window, the room is considered off-limits. No further explanation can be provided, but it's crucial you follow this rule. If you receive a phone call from someone claiming to be locked inside the morgue, do not unlock any doors or attempt to find them. Instead, call the police and wait for their arrival. In the event that the temperature in the morgue drops significantly and your breath becomes visible, retreat to the main office and lock the door. The temperature should normalize within 15 minutes. Should you find a rose placed on top of any storage chamber, remove it immediately and dispose of it in the hazardous waste bin. These flowers are known to carry malevolent energies. Lastly, if you hear footsteps approaching but see no one, quickly find a reflective surface and stand in front of it. The entity responsible for the footsteps can only be seen through reflections and will vanish once it's spotted. Due to the urgency of the family emergency, I will be unreachable during your shift. It's essential that you rely on these guidelines and your instincts to navigate the night. Trust yourself and remember to follow these rules closely to ensure a safe and uneventful night at the morgue. Sincerely, Dr. William Foster.